hate of this magnitude is still acceptable. Hi, everybody. I'm David Solomon from the Rant Network. My buddy Stuart is off today. Generally, here at the Rant Network, what we love to do is to dive into these raw, unfiltered issues that go beyond the news, pop culture, and politics. We dissect today's absurdities, delve into deep seated issues. Over the last 3+ years, we've gone into racism, hate, politics, divisiveness, and it just doesn't seem to want to go away. Here we talk about and expose the absurdity, but we also challenge it to no end. So sit back, as today I dive in yet again into what shocks me when it comes to hate. So I don't even know how to start this. Truth be told, I found it disgusting. There's a report today that was released that according to the Anti-Defamation League, Center for Anti-Semitism Research, 42% of Americans found it okay to either support Hamas or hate Jews. 42% of Americans, 2 in 5. 24% of Americans admitted that they have anti-Semitic beliefs. That's not a tremendous shock, but it's up a couple of percentage points in the last 2 years. And they found that 23% of Americans say they have a close friend or family member who simply dislikes Jews. But a staggering 27% said it would be somewhat acceptable for a friend or family member to support Hamas. What the hell is wrong with us? What in God's name is simply wrong with us? I'm a little bit baffled. Yeah, we have seen extraordinary anti-Semitism. UC Berkeley, Jewish students can't hold an event for an IDF soldier. Democrats who don't want to support Joe Biden because of his pro stance with Israel. Media getting away with this salaciousness, so hate, the ability to write whatever they want, anti-Israel, anti-Jew, inviting Arab, Muslim, op-ed piece interviewees, you name it, who say what they want without fact-checking, spreading hate. Girl Scouts who said, oh, we're so sorry we couldn't support pro-Palestinian causes, getting ripped. Harvard's task force says basically there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do at Harvard. You see what happened? We talked about this in previous rants where universities are being disrupted, classes are being disrupted, and nothing is happening. The social media posts are extraordinarily hateful. You want to be anti-Israel? I've said this many times. Please go ahead. Tell people how you really feel about Israel because it's a democracy. And democracies permit this, free speech to say, I don't agree with the government. But this degree of hate is unbelievable. But to me, I can't understand the praising of a U.S. airman who burnt himself alive to protest Israel in Washington, D.C. You call that fighting for a cause? Last week, we talked about a Jewish woman from Vancouver, Canada, who was supposed to speak at International Women's Day and was denied and canceled. Now they've canceled International Women's Day. Hollywood performers, entertainers who talk about being pro-Israel or pro-Jewish, getting vilified, losing roles, being canceled. Matisyahu, who is a Jewish performer, canceled. All of a sudden, they can't have him. Roger Waters disgraced to no end. And he's still going after any performer who thinks of going to Israel. It's unimaginable. TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, X, you name it, have continued to spread the hate and the lies that are putting the lives of Jews in danger. When you say and you let Rashida Tlaib run rampant, unchecked, calling Israel genocidal and hateful and whatever, Jewish lives are at risk. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't seem to matter. So my question is why? How is it that the United States of America, that claims to be the most progressive thinking country in the world, permits this, lets this go unchallenged? I'm tired of hearing, oh, but it's okay. Kamala Harris's husband, the second husband, he's taking, or the second man, he's taking care of it. Don't worry. What's he taking care of? Nothing. Simply nothing. And by the way, it's not limited to the United States. Here in Canada, too, we are blessed with this kind of anti-Semitism and hate. Universities, we've talked about. Streets filled with protesters, not pro-Palestinian. Give me a break. I get the flags and the kafiyas and whatever. But the chants of hate and death to Jews. This isn't Germany 1936. This is Canada and the United States in 2024. It is extraordinary how people are now asking themselves, where should they live? They are afraid for themselves. Where should they go? And thanks to the media, thanks to social media, thanks to the politicians, thanks to the entertainers who have the platforms, they've continued to support the hate. So I have going to tell you all something. These people should be held accountable for wanting to commit a genocide. Yes, I said it, folks. Politicians, entertainers, media who promote and push hate should be brought to justice. They want a genocide. You yell death to Jews, that's genocidal. So if you're willing to yell at Israel, falsely I might add, that they're a genocidal state, what are you when you called for death for Jews? Jews are wearing dog tags, blue ribbons, yellow ribbons, pins, quietly wanting to remind everybody that there are 134 hostages taken. They're still living in the most inhumane way. They were raped, they were beaten, they were treated like crap. And when people say that they deserve it and justify Hamas's methodologies, I would like to tell you that you're committing either a hate crime, and if you're calling for my death, you're asking for genocide. I mean, really, what is this all about? Now, I'm getting a little bit exhausted of listening to the ignorance. Listen, you got to understand, people don't get it. That's not an excuse anymore. In 2024, at the tip of our fingers, we have the ability to find the right information. Now, I get it. YouTube, Google, social media channels, all the rest of them, they may not give us what we are looking for. We may not get what what we need to be able to create a balanced information. But when I see on Facebook, LinkedIn, which is a business platform, hateful messages towards Jews, I don't get it. In Europe, Jews are fleeing like you can't imagine. In France alone, Jews who until now were scared for their lives before October 7th were leaving France because the invasion, the anti-Semitism that hit France was unparalleled. And they're trying to get out. And many of them came to Montreal, many of them went to Israel. And they told stories of the absolute rampant anti-Semitism. They couldn't imagine it getting worse. Well, since October 7th, they don't have to imagine it anymore. It's unbelievable that I have to be on the phone talking to my children, friends, trying to console them, help them to try to explain what's going on here. But the one question that I cannot answer, why do you hate us that much? I have the historical answer. I know historically why Jews were singled out and hated. But why today? Why in 2024 are Jews still amongst the most hated people in the world? I cannot understand that. And so when a statistic comes out that 42% of Americans, they're okay. They know somebody who hates Jews or supports Hamas. What is wrong with our education? What's wrong with our value system? What's wrong with our people? I've said this too many times, but our leadership has failed us. I get it. Joe Biden has helped Israel. I understand. But with one sentence, he could have stopped so much of this crap and chose not to for political reasons. Same with Justin Trudeau. Same with Emmanuel Macron from France. Same with every Western leader. Only the rare few, like the president of Argentina, head of Germany, Hungary, and other countries, stood by Israel without question. Former Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Harper, went to Israel to stand at her parliament and again stood and said, world should stand with Israel. Any democracy should stand with Israel. Side by side. He says nothing has changed in his stance and was vilified for those remarks, prompting more hate and more anti-Semitism. The more Israel gets torn apart in the media, ramp up the anti-Semitism, ramp up the hate, ramp up the love for Hamas, a terrorist organization. And to believe that 1 in 4 Americans plus believe and are willing to support a terrorist organization. I would ask these same people, you're supporting Al-Qaeda? You're supporting Iran's terror base? You're good with that? God help us. That is what divisive politics has done. That's what a freedom of a press that doesn't get challenged does. That's what social media has been able to push on people unabated. Well, maybe it is time to cancel these people out. Maybe it is time to shut the media down and shut the social media down. Maybe it is time to fight back against the haters. If you're with me, then it's time to fight back. Thank you for tuning in for Friday's rant. I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, please put it in the comments in our YouTube channel, on Facebook, wherever you see this post. We're on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We broadcast at noon Eastern. We do not edit. We do not tweak. We're not looking to impress anybody. What you see is what you get. This is the genuine attitude that Stuart and I bring to the Rant Network. So share this with people who are not listening. Share this with the people who don't believe, because it's time to spread the positive word and enough with the hate.